Hello, good evening, everyone. Hi, my name is Lana Tan, your host for tonight, and welcome to the Next Level Live. And today we are going to talk about a very important topic, especially there's this big news that just came up where Trump, may slap 100% tariff on foreign-made computer chips, and how does it affect my investing game plan? And today we have invited two very special guests, Rachel Kang and Bjorn Ng, the mentors of Next Level Options MBA, who is and they are leading one of the largest close-knitted options trading community in Singapore. And today, what we are going to learn from them is especially what really is options investing and how this latest news is going to affect their strategy and how are they going to pivot accordingly. All right. So today we have some. Before we get them to introduce themselves, we would like to know from the audience, like, how many of you here already have started options trading? If you have started, can you give me an S? If you have not started, can you type a not yet so we have an idea? So at least we can speak to everyone. Let me know in the chat. You have started before options, you have some experience, just type S for started. If you have not, just type not yet. Just let me know in the chat. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Yes. S. Bowen S has started. Okay, Shumei also has. Okay, very good, very good, very good. Okay, so now just in case for some of you, not too familiar with how to use the chat and all that. Okay, so later on we will address, so at least even people who are newbies or maybe have some experience but not so good at it. You know what? You guys have something to learn as well. Okay, so maybe at the start, for those of us who are not familiar with Beyond or are seeing Rachel for the very first time, maybe let them introduce themselves. So maybe we let the lady go first, Rachel.
Okay, thanks, Lionel. Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Rachel, and I'm one of the trainers at Next Level, teaching options and teaching stock investing as well. So, a little background about myself. I didn't really have any formal like finance or investing training. It's purely by chance that I managed to get in touch with investing, and I've always been interested in numbers. I took like principles of accounting back in school. I mean, I won't consider that official financial training lah. But both my parents, they are hawkers, so I would consider that they are business owners lah. So entrepreneurs, So I saw them like really working hard for their business. So I was interested like how can businesses make money, and I realized that actually it's quite interesting that I can invest in businesses, own a piece of certain businesses that I really like. So that's how I got in touch with in investing. Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice to have parents who have business background, Yeah. Then then that okay, that's just really good. What about Beyond for you? Like how? Yeah, maybe share with us more about yourself.
Sure. Well, I've been doing options for more than 10 years already. So just to share, I actually was not in a financial background. I didn't came from a financial background. I was actually just a sales engineer, right? A mechanical engineer. So when I started, what I've been hearing is that hey, investing is risky, options is risky, right? Put your money in the bank, put your money with the fund managers and do it for you, right? But then I realized that actually it is not as risky as it is once you actually understand how to do it. It's actually very, very straightforward, right? And it's not as risky as what people might think, right? So yeah, I've been doing this for more than 10 years now, and even till today there's still a lot of things to do and to learn as well, and it's always good to be able to share this knowledge and also be that kind of guide for people who are also learning this so that they can kind of like avoid the traps that I've been in, and they can learn from my mistakes and grow even faster as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I also hope that today I can also learn options from you guys as well. So talking about options, right? I mean, we have probably some of us have heard of it, but actually, what really is options investing? Maybe you guys can share a little bit more.
Yeah, I can probably share a little bit. And just curious, how many are my students here? All 40 plus of you. Can you guys type me in the chat? You've attended one of our option sharing or options class before, and you can type in the chat. But just basically to share a little bit, right? Maybe I can share my screen. Okay, can you guys mainly just see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. What about the rest?
Cool. Yeah, so I would say that options is, to me, is a piece of contract. Okay, so imagine have you guys stayed at an Airbnb before? I think most of us have like here. So if you're staying in an Airbnb before, it's kind of like you are the Airbnb owner. Okay. But basically, right, you are just renting from the owner this house and you don't really own the place. Okay. And you're just subletting it out, every month to someone else, and you are collecting in between. There's this thing called premium. Okay, so you earn the premium from renting this house out, and every month, right, you can keep doing it over and over again. And that's how we actually make. That's one of the methods that we use in options. Is called sell put, to actually make a little bit of a passive income every single month. Okay, without owning the actual property. Okay, so yeah, this is how I would briefly share it, lah. And you just make the profit every single month. So yeah, I love doing options, and I hope that this little bit of sharing makes it clearer for you guys.
Oh, that's really interesting. You mentioned that you are able to make money, something like property, right? Airbnb, like you can make money from this asset, but without having to own it, right?
Correct. And that asset, instead of the property, is actually the stocks itself.
I see. So how is this different from buying and holding? Like what would you say is the benefit of this as opposed to buying and holding for long term? Maybe this question I would like to ask Bjorn as well.
Is that like what Rachel said is options is kind of like a contract, right? So for buying and holding, sometimes the main idea is that buying or holding, sometimes you might have to wait very, very long, right? For example, to make a 10% gain while you buy and hold, right? Sometimes with options, right, the first way is you can actually accelerate your returns, right? So you can, number one, accelerate your returns, and while having lower capital outlay as well. So that is one amazing thing about options that is actually not as risky as what people think. It's actually similar to buying a stock, just that you have lower capital outlay, but you get increased upside as well. So another thing, which is what Rachel said, like options has different strategies, which we teach as well, right? Another strategy is like, imagine you being able to buy something that you like at a discount, at a price that you want. And while doing that, right, you are getting paid to wait. Okay, so that's the amazing thing. If the price doesn't go down to what you want, you are just getting paid continuously. And if the price goes down to what you want, you're just buying an amazing company that you always wanted at a particular price. So you can see, right, there's both ways. It's kind of like a win-win. Of course, there's some risk involved, but it can be mitigated if you just follow the clear rules, and that's how options is actually very powerful, and you can use it together with investing as well.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing is that because you mentioned capital outlay is more, so I'm getting a feeling, is it like you don't really have to pay the full price of a stock, but you mentioned there's a lot of upside. That means, can I say that you don't pay full price of a stock, but then you can earn as much as like for someone who is actually holding a stock? Is that something like that?
Yeah, so
Right.
so using what you said, Lionel, is similar. I'll try my best to use what Rachel shared as the house as the concept, right? So just imagine that this house costs $300,000, but for you, right, you as someone who kinds of does options, right, instead of paying $300,000 to own the house, you can kind of pay what we call like a down payment. Okay, and this down payment in options is what we call premiums. So you're not paying the full price, you're paying like a fraction of the price, right? But if the house appreciates, if the house goes up to 500K, right, you realize that you can actually sell the house for 500K, like the option, your down payment, right, that you use, right, even though your outlay is very low, but when you choose to sell a house, right, you can sell it for not exactly at 500K. It doesn't mean you get 200K straight in your pocket like that, but your value, right, you can actually get that value out from the house appreciation without paying that initial $300,000. So that is the amazing thing about options when you use it carefully. Of course, there's risky ways, but if you use it carefully, which we kind of guide you guys, that is how it can actually be a very, very powerful tool to accelerate your portfolio as well.
Okay, so what about the downside of options? Like, is there any downside as compared to other forms of investing or trading?
Yeah, I think definitely any form of investment, right? There is always the downside. There's always the risky part. And that's why when we teach options, right, we are very careful to tell our students that you need to be very safe. Don't invest with money you don't have. Don't go and borrow money to invest. Always make sure that all your basic necessities are covered before you go into investing. So always there's downside lah. But yeah, but don't go into certain things that you don't fully understand lah, okay? Because options is actually a leverage. We call it derivatives. So if let's say you are doing a little bit of leverage, you need to make sure that your portfolio size is good lah. But the good thing is for us when we actually do options, we really are able to mitigate the risk to make it like as least risky as possible. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. That's why I think, guys, especially if let's say you are doing options for the very first time, I think it's always good to, educate yourself first. Like even for myself, I want to make sure that I learn it properly first, even before I get started. So I'm just curious, and I think maybe our audience might be curious as well. Like what kind of yearly returns can like someone expect? Like I'm just curious. I mean, if that's okay, if y'all can share like for you, what's your returns, yearly returns?
Yeah. Every time anyone tells me that they want to invest, I always tell them that there's something that you need to beat. Okay, there's this benchmark that you need to beat, and this is what we call the S&P 500. Okay, which is the top 500 listed companies in the US. Okay, the yearly returns on average for the last 20 to 30 years is about 11 to 12%. Okay, so if let's say you're investing, right, you have to beat this benchmark. Okay, if not, you can just go and invest in this S&P 500 lah. Okay, of course we want to do much better than that. So on average, I always tell my students, and even for my own portfolio, we have to beat the market and get at least 30%. Okay, so the benchmark is 11%. We have to get at least 30%. Yeah. So
Wow, that's
that's for me.
awesome. 30%. So in other words, if let's say I have a portfolio of let's say 100K, right? So basically we are looking at 30% per annum, correct? Am I right?
Yes, which is $30,000.
Wow, that's really not bad, guys. Then what about for beyond? Like for yourself, like what's the kind of results that you achieve for yourself?
Well, I think that on average, like what Richard said, I'll echo with that. But I mean, I would love to show my portfolio, but there's a lot of numbers there. But I think for this year, I think so far the market has been pretty well this year. If you kind of have taken the opportunity, so I think for me, currently on a 1 year basis, my portfolio is kind of up about 60% right now. So
Wow.
and I think that also comes with the idea of options, right, which can help. So if probably you're just buying the S&P index, you'll probably just get 15% at max around there. But if you were buying using options and using even just investing in good companies and using options to help you accelerate, right? I think achieving more than 3 times what S&P can provide you is actually fairly reasonable. So I'll just I know that some of you might say, hey, you sure or not beyond 60%? I don't think you are lying lah. I don't think you're saying the truth lah. Okay, so well, let's just let the results speak by itself. Okay, so of course I blank out my portfolio size. This is my rate of return. I literally just put it up from Interactive Brokers, so you can see it's close to 60%. Well, of course, there's always room to improve, right? But you can see how the Nasdaq is at roughly about 23%. So together with Rachel, these are the kind of results that we also helped our communities to achieve as well. So yeah, so this is what I'd like to share.
Wow, awesome. So that means your profit margin has really surpassed the Nasdaq index.
Way more.
Way more. That's really awesome, man. Right. How many of you guys will want to learn this to increase to increase your wealth?
If
Okay,
Bjorn also want to learn.
30% to 60%. That's really a lot, guys. Can you imagine that? Now
Yeah,
talking about
and there's always the way we teach is twofold, right? Well, we see that, oh yes, we make money together, and it's not just me, right? It's all the people that we guide together, that we have members also making more than 40-50% as well. But at the end of the day, it's always staying rooted to what we teach, and ensuring that we cover our downside rather than just think, oh, we can go higher, right? Always, it's very important. The idea is longevity and sustainability.
Yeah, actually, just to add on, right? Lionel. I think it's important not just to focus on the just the pure results by itself. It's important to note that like you need to learn the skills first, because for Bjorn and myself, actually we both combined, I think we have more than 25 years of investing experience, and we both started from zero as well. Yeah, so the first few years when we just started, we probably are just purely learning and trying to improve our knowledge. And then after that, after a few years of consistency, then we managed to get this kind of results. So what I would advise is, if you're just starting out, don't focus on just the results. Focus on improving your investing knowledge and also investing for the long term.
Got it, got it. So yeah, I understand that you talk about always protecting the downside, but just curious, like now I'm pretty sure that there's always a learning curve, right? Like, is there any like early mistake that you all have made in your investing that like kind of like really shape the way you trade today? Like, yeah, like define your trading today. Like, what's one big mistake that you make? Maybe I think the audience would also like to know, so that we can also avoid that also.
Yeah, I think my biggest mistake when I just got started is investing in companies that I didn't really understand. So one of my very first investment is actually in the construction scene. It's actually in Singapore. So I don't really understand the business at the start, and I didn't really know what I'm investing in. So without much research, I just hear one of my investing friends talk about this company, and I was like, oh, okay, sounds not bad. And then I didn't do my homework or anything, and I just went to put like my first savings into this investment, and in the end it didn't really do very well. And that was like one of my biggest regrets lah. And also chasing the shiny objects lah, like just when everyone is hyping about a certain company and talking about this stock, it's very easy to just, oh, okay, I just put my money there. But it's actually very, very scary if you don't know what you're investing in and you are just blindly copying someone's conviction. Yeah, so that was my biggest learning lesson. And to this day, I always tell my students that, you cannot copy someone else's conviction in a certain stock, certain company, and you have to really understand what you're investing in. Yeah, so that was my biggest mistake.
Got it.
Beefsteak,
So it's not to copy blindly lah, but to really understand why they're investing in certain stocks lah. Okay, so it boils down back to having the experience and the knowledge. What about yourself, Bjorn?
Well, my biggest mistake, I still remember vividly until today. It was actually back in 2020, March 23. I'm pretty sure most of you know what happened during that day. So, that day, that was actually one of the biggest hurdle that I've experienced in my investing career that caused me to break down. Just to give a bit of context, right? While I was growing up, I was always taught to hustle well. I was always taught to save money well and save as much as you can, right? So and there are a lot of family finances that I also had to manage. So imagine when you were just learning how to invest, and suddenly in one day, in just a matter of days, right, you just made a 5-figure loss straight away. And that was me during that day, right? I still remember very clearly. That was my first big loss, about 10k USD. So and to some of it's just 10k, right? But imagine you yourself just starting out working, and that 10k is like probably almost 3 months of your salary, right? That was exactly 3 months salary. So it felt like I just lost 3 months for nothing. So and what actually happened was that I followed I was too obsessed with the media news. That was the one thing. Everyone was saying the market was going to crash, and because of that, I made a lot of emotional trades. And that was also when that was why at the start we always have to execute our options the right way, because that was when I actually learned about executing options the wrong way. Right, that was what actually caused me to lose that level of amount. But looking back, right, I think that I know that is tough, but then it's a blessing in disguise, right? That is, if me paying this amount can allow me to learn and can allow me to actually be able to guide others to not make the same mistakes and me to not walk the same path. I think that is better, right? Rather than making the loss down the road. I made that first loss big five-figure loss at the start now. And I think that really has helped to mold me as an investor, that has helped me to achieve the returns and to reach where I am today. So yeah, that was a very painful memory, but always happy to revisit it and share with everyone.
Oh, thank you, Bjorn. So I'm curious. Okay, now that you have all this experience, and of course, while losing 10K, is still a rather painful lesson, right? So how do you like today, make sure that you don't you avoid this kind of mistake, and then how do you determine like what stocks to buy, the options to execute your strategy?
Yeah, so I think it's a multiple fold, right? Like when we always teach our students, we always say that when you want to invest, right, we are not trading, we are not doing like very quick in and out, right? So there's an actual proper process we ensure, and the whole idea of this process is to make sure that anyone who invests build this important thing called confidence. Okay, so if you understand what I mean, just type C in the chat for confidence. So how do we teach this process? The first step is always teaching you how to analyze companies, what we call fundamental analysis. Like just as if you are buying a new fridge for your home, what do? You research the fridge specifications, right? You make sure that this fridge is good for you, it suits your need, and it's a high quality fridge that can last you for the next 5 to 10 years, right? That's the first step. Now, the next step is actually valuation. So similarly, right, like when you buy a fridge, right, is it very expensive or not? Compared to a Samsung fridge and an LG fridge, same features, but the LG fridge is cheaper, right? So you don't want to end up overpaying for something. That is the next step. The third step is what we call technical analysis. So this is where we look at trends. Okay, like example, like a fridge, right? That has I'm using the fridge example because it's easy for everyone to relate, right? Like Harvey Norman, the price always fluctuate from 2005 to 3000. And you know that always 2005, right, it will go up already. 2005 is the lowest price. So obviously, right, what we do, you know that the value of the fridge is maybe 2006, but then the price will go down to 2005 and it always bounce back up. So of course, you'll find the right time to buy 2005, right? So that is technical analysis. And the last step is where the strategy comes in, where the options comes in. We teach you how to adopt the right strategies while mitigating your risk, because options has different strategies, right? And depending on your risk preference, we will also recommend what is the one that suitable for you, while at the same time for you guys to also reflect accordingly as well. So that's the full life cycle, and everything is to give you confidence to ensure that in the long run, in the midterm, right, you will end up just making money and while still being able to sleep well at night.
Awesome, awesome. So when you mentioned the term like midterm, like how long is midterm? Like how long is midterm and how long is it long term? Like
Sure.
will you
Well,
give an example?
I think that this also depends on individual, but at least for me, right, I would say long term ranges from 3 to 5 years, right? Because you need time to give for the company to perform, right? I would say midterm can range anytime from 1 year actually to 1 month as well, right? Because there are actually some trades that we do where actually 1 month the results are actually phenomenal, right? And we actually still have some members who are actually still holding on to it. Why? Because there is still that long term potential. So it depends, right? But if you ask me, I would say that midterm can range from 1 month all the way to 1 year, whereas the long term is where we look even further, from 3 to 5 years.
Understand. Great. Hey, thanks, Bjorn. Hey, by the way, talking about that, right? No, because now I think there's some uncertainty in the market right now, and especially based on today's topic, where Trump is hinting that he might slap these 100% tariffs on foreign-made computer chips. So, just curious, like, how does this actually affect your strategy?
Okay. Well, I think that it affects to a certain extent, right? Because you have to know what are the companies that will be susceptible to these tariffs, right? But I think that also it kind of affects more of the short-term strategy in terms of the outlook of the market, right? So because when this kind of volatility happens in the stock market, what happens is that options are actually much more juicier, right? Like actually, if you do the sell side of the options, you can get a lot of premiums as well. And when the price drops, right, you can actually buy options as well. So that kind of like actually optimizes your strategy. But I think that more of how it affects our own strategy is actually how it affects an individual's emotions. Okay, I think that is one of the most important thing that we have to deal with, right? Because imagine if the thing back in April when the market crashed and you're alone, right? You have no idea what to do. Trust me, no one will know what to do, right? But imagine if you have that level of guidance and support to tell you, okay, be calm, right? You think of the mid to long term, think of the companies that will not be affected by this right? And then when you kind of like remove all the noise and you strip back down to the basics, right, you realize that this is actually opportunity. And instead of hiding your bullets, right, you are actually getting ready your war chest to actually shoot all your bullets. So in a way, how it affects my strategy is that it actually makes you a bit more cautious of what's going on, while at the same time being prepared for opportunity to strike, because this kind of thing doesn't happen all the time as well.
Okay, great. So like this kind of uncertainty, there are some people, especially you mentioned, that during April that there's a crash. Then of course people who buy the wrong time and they buy and hold the stock. Like how would options play out differently? Like if let's say if it was you then, like when that during that crash, like how do you actually overcome that?
Well, honestly, that crash was to me, I didn't. It was actually a pretty good one. I know some people might be scared and all right, but actually that crash, of course, now on hindsight, everyone would say, "Oh, I should have bought more," right?
Yeah.
But I think the real thing is whether you actually have the guts to buy in, right? And fortunately, I think during that period, that is where even myself, we share a community of that. Hey, don't be afraid, just buying, and we even showed like all the things that we were buying and what is our strategy and everything. So I think that of course the what everyone regrets, right? Not only me, every single one will say, oh, I should have bought more, right? I should have bought more, right? So I think that overall, this kind of thing is like what we call a once in a lifetime opportunity, and the whole idea is being able to capitalize on these kind of things rather than being scared and afraid. So twofolds, right? Number one, options, using it as a strategy to accelerate your portfolio. Number two, having the guts and having that mindset which we guide the people that we teach to be able to take action. I think that's the most important, being able to take action, right? And I think that was how it kind of allowed me to achieve the returns that I see on a yearly basis as well. And that was what actually helped me to accelerate my portfolio over the past few years as well.
Awesome. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if let's say you have any question that you guys want to ask, feel free to type inside the chat. Also, so right now we're actually reading some of those questions that we are prepared. But if you do have your own questions, please ask since you are already here. Okay. Now, I just want to ask, do you really need to have a lot of money to get started in options in the first place?
Actually, I don't think so. You can get started as little as $100. So for me personally, suddenly the screen, my face so big. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So I got started with like even $1,000. As long as every single month you are putting a little bit of your savings, setting aside like consistently, some of your income, just continuing to invest, right? You can slowly grow your portfolio, because a lot of times people make the mistake of like, oh, I just put $3,000 into investing and I stop there. And that's not going to help your portfolio. That's not going to help you retire, because it's not going to be life-changing money. Even if you make like 100%, then your $3,000 becomes $6,000 in like 1 year. It's not going to make you financially free. So I will say that you can get started as little as possible, but you should never stop there. You should never just invest that $3,000 and then just like go and sleep and hope that in 10 years time you're going to be financially free. So it is possible if you invest in a certain like, wow, suddenly a windfall like come down. Last time we had companies like GameStop, and a lot of people managed to do that. But how many times can that happen in your portfolio, or how many can you repeat this kind of luck or not? So I would say that just get started and then just invest consistently and grow your portfolio. Yeah.
Okay.
Those up there.
Thank you, Rachel. So it's all about getting started and consistency, right? Because we never know if, as long as you start, we never know, there might be one outlier like the GameStop, then it might be a windfall for you also.
Correct.
Okay, then next question is that wait, let me see what questions our audience have. Okay, so talking about this strategy that you have, like your approach to next level options, right? Do you have any like recent wins that we can highlight, like how, so that our audience can actually see how options actually play out in terms of results? Any recent wins?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, every single month, every few days, we always have wins lah because we are always invested. A lot of people feel like right now is the all-time high, right? How many people here? I think about 40 plus of you. You feel that right now is an all-time high, and you are not sure what to invest in. Can you just type in the chat ATH? Yeah, so a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that, oh, it's all-time high and I just wait for the stock to come down, and then I will take the opportunity there. But actually for options, right, even when the market is going sideways or the stock is going sideways, you can still benefit as well. Yeah, so recently we are actually invested in quite a couple of companies. One of it is actually C Limited. Yeah, so I mean, this is Bjorn's company. Don't mind, I just share. So I think we invested in it. Bjorn, was it in August?
Yeah, actually just a few days ago.
Just few days ago, and we look at it recently. It just up like 16%, just from the earnings itself. So when people tell me that, oh, right now is the all-time high, you shouldn't be investing, you shouldn't be putting your money in the market, right? I tell them that, hey, you're wrong lah, because you should be always invested. Okay, of course, not 100% always invested. You should be invested, but don't try to time the market. Don't try to buy it at the lowest, because you can never catch the lowest. Yeah, so that's what I experienced recently.
So just okay. So talking about that, like because you mentioned the word all-time high, right? Do you recommend for the student to chase? Like you're is it part of strategy, or sometimes you chase or sometimes you don't chase? Like for example, if let's say I see the stock like going up, wow, sure, and suddenly I just get
FOMO, right?
anxious. Should I go for it because it might go higher? Or like what would y'all do in a situation like that?
Actually, we do this thing called the valuation, which is how we actually view the company in terms of how much they are worth. So even if there is right now it's the all-time high, people are talking about Nvidia is all-time high right now, what should they do? But you have to read more into what are they going to do in the next 5 years. For example, what are they going to do in the next 5 years to make your money grow, and what are they going to do with the money that they have, what are they planning in the future. So a lot of times, like, we think that it's all-time high, when we compare to property, right? How come when it's property, like you just got a house, right? It's always at the all-time high. People always buy at the highest price, but everyone feels very safe buying the property, even though it's so expensive. And we're looking at $1 million HDBs. So the perception of people in property, right, is very different from people investing in stocks, because people in property, they know that the property is going to rise in value, and they trust that it is going to rise in value. So if you have that same conviction in the stocks that you are owning, right, you can also do the same. Even if it's an all-time high, sometimes we also enter as well. So it really depends, but we'll use options lah. So that's how we get the advantage.
Oh, nice. So remember, guys, so option is all about protecting your downside, and you buy without paying full price, but you still get to earn that benefit. You earn that benefit. So how many of you would like to buy options, stock options, with the certainty of buying a property in Singapore that you will always go up one, right? If that's you, just type O, right? If you all believe in options and you think that options is actually a very good way to actually increase your wealth, okay, if you agree, just type O in the chat. Now, Rachel, talking about this, I understand that you are also leading this one of the largest close-knitted communities, right? Which is this community is known as the Next Level Options MBA, right? Yeah, can you share with us like what makes this community so tight-knitted, and usually what goes on in the community that make people want to join?
Yeah, maybe instead of talking about it, I'll show you one of the recent events that we've done. I don't know if I can pull up the video. Let me try. Okay, I'll show you guys what we have done recently with our community. Okay, let's see.
It's such an amazing opportunity to have someone that genuinely wants you to succeed, like looking at your portfolio. Like that person's not going to get jealous. They are there because they want you to succeed. I think that's really 就是很难找。
You call me a dreamer. My eyes on the stars and my head in the clouds, but I'm a believer. I'll bet it all right here, right now. I've been walking the walk, not just talking the talk. The nights have been long from
Yeah, so wait, how do I get the screen back? Okay, yeah, so this is one of the events that we have did with our close community. Usually our community is very, very small, but we really know each and every one of them, and we really keep track of what's happening in their portfolio together with them, and also grow their portfolio very, very closely with them. So a lot of our mentees, they always like have any questions, they always come to us and they will ask us for our opinion. But eventually, right, I can tell you that most of them, they actually become better than us in certain industries, in certain, they know the companies much better than we do right now because they have done so much of their homework. They are so confident about the companies that they are in their portfolio. So yeah, that's how we actually stay close to our community, our members, and we just share whatever ideas we have, whatever things that we are looking at together with them very, very openly. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow, so I can imagine. Well, imagine the students also can become as good or even better than the mentor. Then it's like everyone, can share more opportunities inside the community. So, but so far, like when you're because I understand that y'all have been teaching for some time. Like, has there any like student transformation that kind of touched you guys? Just curious.
Maybe Bjorn?
Okay, I think I can share that, but I think I wanted to add on a little bit because while Rachel was sharing the success case, I wanted to kind of show you guys a little sneak peek about the kind of things that we do as well. So I'm just sharing my screen right now. Okay, so you can see, right, this is the one where we shared in our community about buying a C limited at 147. In fact, this was the what we call our second tranche. And we can also share, this was more of the mindset, right, about me sharing what's the difference of buying a small price, which a lot of people, surprisingly, they think that, oh, I just want to save $1 to $2 to buy it at a cheaper price. But if you do that, you have missed an opportunity. And this was a screenshot that was just taken earlier. C is at 174 right now, and it's up about 15, at the very least 15% from where we also call. So this was the one of them. And another one is actually from our community, right? So this is actually another call that's really on Google. So this is a option strategy. Again, all this is just to share for informational. Please don't be a fool and go and execute the trades right now because it's over. But you can see, right, we actually entered on 24th June and 23rd July, less than 1 month, right? And it was a profit of 2002. So you can see in 1 month from 1005, it became 2250. I'm not going to share the percentage here because it will be rigged, but you can see this level of amount. And we even still have members who are holding, and Google is at an even higher price than it is right now as well. So these are options, and you can see these are some of the wins of our community members. Randy, 11,000, Manesh, 4.6. Jonathan, 10,000 as well, from just following the guidance and the strategy that we teach in our community. And some other trades that we do as well. So this is also another option strategy that we teach. Again, don't follow blindly, right? So you can see the ROI that we get, the annualize it, right? It can go up to 68%. Some even crazy one, the kind of rare opportunities that we also find for our community. This is actually back in actually very recent, just back in end of July. So you can see 23rd July, right? And actually 45% for 30 days, right? 30 days, 45%, that is crazy. So these are the kind of things that we also scout because we are quite attuned with the market and what is going on and finding all these opportunities. So yeah, just to add on to the success case, and I think to touch on Lionel's question, right, about a touching story. So just to share the story about this, one of our mentees, his name is called Alvin. So when he came to us, right, that was actually back in 2018, right? You can see that when he started, he actually lost $12,000, right? This was the first time when he shared with us, 2018, that when he started, he lost $12,000. And subsequently, what did he do? He actually tried another community, right? He tried another community back in 2021. And at the same time, he lost money again, right? $10,000 then. So at that point of time, he was really feeling very dejected because he started off losing money. He joined another community, he lost money. And when he came to us, right, he was saying that this is all that he's have really, right? He's like, this is his last chance. That's what he actually told us. So we actually taught him about the strategies that we guide our members about options, and you can see how he actually generated consistent monthly income from actually doing tradings in options. So, and you can see very interestingly, right, 2021, when he just, before he joined us, he get 159. And subsequently, 2022, when he started learning, he get 3,008. And then 2023, $26,000, and 2024, $43,000. You can see how he has actually grown and gotten his premiums from options in just a matter of 3 years, right? So, how many of you actually like this kind of consistent money income? If you like this kind of consistent money income, type C in the chat for consistent. Right. So, but I think one thing that what we teach here is, of course, not. We always like to ask students like, "Hey, what's your why? Why do you want to invest?" Right? It cannot only be, "Oh, I want to be rich. I want to be financially free. I want money." Right? It cannot be. There must always be a purpose in everything that we do. So when we ask Alvin, what is your why? That is when he shared with us that he wanted to actually own his cafe. He wanted to own a cafe, and mind you, he is a salary worker, okay, and he told us that through just his salary, it was not possible to actually own his own cafe, and that was the dream that he wanted, right? And he turned his ultimate cafe fantasy into reality in 2025 over there, right? Okay, so and through this, right, that was actually very very exciting. This actually made us very very happy that we were able to make an impact, which is in March 2025, his cafe actually opened, and it's called SM Cafe. And you can see Rachel is here, me is here. We went to visit him and drop by. And I think all of these were possible because he number one, I think he had a very very strong why, and number two is because he had this feedback and guidance from people, and he learned the right way rather than from the first two one where he always lost money, and he actually figured out a way for him to actually achieve his dream. So yeah, I think this is one of the a very touching story lah, that we feel like, apart from just helping you make money, we actually help students like you here to achieve what you want, right? Be it having more time with your family, be it being able to travel more, be it being able to fire your boss. In fact, there's one of the strategy that we teach, literally called BOSS, called boss, and we always like to tell students, do you want to fire your boss, right? So these are the kind of things that gives us a lot of joy about being in a space where, being that very small part of your growth, and being knowing that we actually made that small difference in your life. And I think that's something very very powerful, and something that that's why we are doing here. We enjoy doing what we do every single day, day in day out.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's really really awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah, so what about Rachel? Like, do you have like any student story that really touches your heart?
Yeah, definitely I have. But before that, I just want to answer Robin's question. Robin is actually on TT asking us, is this legit or is it a scam? Because just now Bjorn mentioned that we actually did one of the trade. It's definitely legit. But this kind of opportunities don't come every day lah. So how much to join? Robin very interested to know how to join. Later I share with you. Okay, later I share with you. We do have you can join us at one of our conferences as well. We will be sharing a little bit more about how we actually do the different traits that we are mentioning, and also I'll be sharing on the 30th of August.
Yes, 30th of August on a Saturday. So
Yeah.
we start at 9. We start in the morning. So you can, so maybe we can just, since Robin is asking, right? I think, just in case we forget, we just put up the link. So if you guys want to learn more about what Bjorn and Rachel has shared so far, their next level option strategy, right? If you guys want more strategy, then that is the event that you should attend, right? So can we just put up the link? Yes. So right now, there's a free ticket. You guys can go and claim your free ticket. And Bjorn and Rachel will be there to share with you guys more.
Yeah, definitely. So just now Lionel was asking me about any students, the stories that really touched my heart. We do have a student that he actually works as a delivery driver, a van delivery driver lah. So before he actually learned about investing, he was a bit stuck at his job lah. His name is called Manson. So Manson, he started learning from us in 2011. Okay, so about 14 years ago. So these methods that I'm going to be sharing in NLC, right, which is our conference, it's not something that is just happened yesterday. a few days ago. We've been using these methods for over like close to 15 years already. So Manson has been doing this together with us, and a couple of years down the road, right, he actually told us that his passive income, just because from learning this, right, is more than his active income. So technically, he actually don't need to work already. So he told us that he's very, very happy. And then a few months later, he actually injured his one of his left toe, and that resulted him to be hospitalized for about 5 months. So he was unable to work. And the worst thing that happened, right, is because his boss actually told him that you don't need to come to work anymore. You are fired because you can't work. You're of no use to us already. So he told him that, hey, you go home lah. You don't need to come anymore. So he was like a bit upset, a bit angry at first. But after that, right, he told us that, hey, actually, I don't need to be so worried anymore because my passive income is more than my active income. And he told us that, wow, actually, he's very, very happy that his boss let him go. So now that he can do this like really full time and really focus on doing investing for himself, for his wife. So we are very happy that we have a lot of this kind of students that come to us and tell us their stories. So if you are one of our students and you do have something nice to share, also share with us. We are very, very appreciative, and I'm very happy that all of our students, they have more choices because they started learning this thing that we are teaching at NLC, right? So I would say that really just get started as soon as possible. Like Robin, you are very, very interested. You have $150, okay, you want to grow it or even more, right? You should definitely come and listen to our NLC, and we have a lot more other speakers as well teaching you how to grow your money. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, like what you mentioned also, about this. His name is Manson, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because I think with a lot of uncertainty today, like the job market, where people they don't know. The thing is, you don't know when you're going to get fired, right? So it's always better to prepare in advance, start investing rather than you wait until it's too late, lah. So for Manson, I would say we'll agree, lah. Maybe some people will say that he's hate. Okay, because he took action early, but some people will say that he is prepared. So guys, we don't know what's going to happen, especially for those of us, who are still having active income, but we are not having a additional source of income like options. I think this is something that you can consider learning to start, right? Because it's something that you can do at home, right? So talking about that, just curious, like how much time, I don't know whether if we ask that question or you guys have answered, like on average, like how much time do you actually spend in front of the computer, to look for opportunities?
For me personally, because I really love like reading investing news and also seeing what's going on in the market, right? So I spend about 20 to 30 minutes every day looking at the markets. But I wouldn't recommend it for everybody because like not everybody want to stare at the screen every day, right? But I really enjoy it. So to me, looking at it is not really like I must do it or this is my job, I have to do it, right? I just feel very curious of what's going on in the market. Some of my students, they don't even look at the market every single day. Maybe like just once a week, they just have a look at it. And even some they just do very, very long-term positions. They don't open it for a few weeks one. They just open, okay, it's making money, and then I will just turn it off. So I wouldn't recommend for you to do it every day lah, unless you're doing it full-time or you really, really like to see what's going on in the market. Okay, so Robin is also asking, how can he scan the QR code? Robin, maybe you PM me or you PM my team on TT, then we can send you the link directly lah. Because you're using your phone, you can't scan the QR code. Okay, so yeah.
I think that's a good thing because since Rachel, next time because you look at it every day, so anything we don't know, the mentees can kind of look for you.
Bjorn look at it more often than me, right, Bjorn?
Yeah, so
Yeah, I am a nerd lah. So I look at it way longer because I dig a lot more lah. So I would say personally for me, during the day I look at it, during the night I look at it. Probably a few hours. I wouldn't recommend anyone to do that. But the whole idea of us doing all of this reading, right? Because we not only look for opportunities, we read what is happening in the news, the short-term news, like all the tariff news, right? So the moment we see a news like that, is like we will straight away update with our thoughts to our community. So our goal is always to keep in touch of what is going on in the market, so we can update the people, our community as soon as possible. So you guys basically we save your time, right? And that is something that I enjoy doing, just reading about what is happening, and at the same time finding opportunities, reading about new company. In fact, there are actually some new companies which we also just shared with our community as well. Very very interesting, sticky one that I don't think is the same as your typical Nvidia, Microsoft, but something that has like a multi-bagger potential as well. So these are the kind of things that I enjoy, finding this kind of opportunities. And yeah, don't be a nerd like me and read so much news. I mean, if you like, I can show you how. But most of the time, as a as an investor, once you learn the strategies, probably one day you spend about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you'll be settled. And like what Rachel said, you don't have to check every single day as well.
Yeah, or you can just ask Bjorn. That's what I do. Hey, Bjorn, what's going on in the market? I go and find all the nerds in our community. Hey, hello.
Yeah, which I think it really gives confidence to the students. Like I can imagine, I mean, it's like if for some of us who are working, we don't really have so much time to look at all these news, especially when we come home from work, already very tired. So I mean, it's like, and you are in part of a community that we have all these updates. I think it's really it really gives a lot of assurance and confidence. Like just like I saw one of the messages I saw earlier on, Beyond, when you was showing some of the messages that you sent to your community. You really reassure them, when people are getting scared and all that. So I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching this now. Okay, now the thing is that if let's say you are getting started, as long as you're learning, always remember that because I believe in like any other skill, it really takes time to master lah. But even as you're taking your time to master, you want to make sure that you are a part of a community where you have other members that you can learn from. Also, not necessarily this community, but as long as you can find yourself in a community is very important lah. If you guys agree, can you just type a C if you believe that having a community is important, right? So and before we go, right, if you guys have any questions, please do ask in the chat, okay? Because we are close to 9 o'clock. Okay, now, so just curious. Okay, so let's say for people who are more experienced, okay, or people who are already investing, what do you think is that, one mindset people can adopt, to get them to the next level, or maybe have consistent results?
For me, I think just don't be too short term lah. Because right now in this economy, right, even when I'm teaching classes, I realize that a lot of people are very short term, are very FOMO. They are looking for very, very fast results. And that's what a lot of people out there, they want you guys to really believe, like you can get very, very fast results. But for me, I really focus on consistent and good results. And that's the power of compounding, right? Every single month you get the same results. Even though it's a little bit boring, you might feel like, hey, I need to find something exciting. Then you go and take a roller coaster. Don't play with your portfolio like that. Just put your time frame and your horizon for investing much longer. I mean, most of us who invest, you probably have at least 20 to 30 years more of your lifespan. You can invest, you can compound, right? Why do you want to really focus on how can I make the fast money and get the fast money, and in the end you might lose out because you are chasing for the fast results, and then you realize that actually my long-term positions are performing much better than all my short-term trades. So I mean, that's what happened in my portfolio when I was trying to do trading. And I realized, actually my long-term position do much better, and I spend much lesser effort. So my mindset suggestion for you guys is really to think long-term. Think at least 5 years, think at least 10 years, 20 years. That will help you a lot. Yeah.
Wow. So actually the compounding is actually the secret to making a lot of wealth in the long term lah. Well, that's really good. Okay, thanks, Rachel. What about you, Bjorn?
Well, I think that I echo what Rachel shared, but to add on what the things that I always share with our community is very similar, but I would say patience actually builds wealth. So there's a lot of noise out there that says that you can make crazy returns and all, but I can share with you that I have been there, I have done that as well. We have done it so many times. And that oftentimes, right, a lot of the risks are involved. And the funny thing is that you don't see people losing money coming out. You only see the ones sharing wins coming out, right? And that creates a whole distorted picture because you think that only wins happen in whatever it is. But there's always two sides. The losing one will never share their losses because they are losing money. Who wants to share their losses, right? And the whole idea is that with the economy that we are right now, in the world that we are, a lot of people want quick money, right? But something to really remember is that when you achieve quick money, right, you're going to lose it very quickly. Like, I personally know of people who actually made 500K doing crypto, and they are now down to $10,000. And this is a true story. Okay, like I just saw it earlier today. And why? Because when you have fast money, you lose it fast. It's as simple as that. Right? Not you. It's just when you think like you struck the lottery and you just end up go crazy and spend all the money. But that's not the way to build wealth. When you want to build wealth, right, you're not building wealth for yourself. You must understand that you're building wealth for the next generation. You're building what we call generational wealth. And generational wealth, right, will be built in a way that it can compound over time. And it depends. If you're a risky person who can risk, whichever stage you are like 30s, 50 with family, you want to risk it all, go ahead, right? But what are you giving up on, right? But consider the aspect of that. What if you can actually achieve wealth in a patient way, in more of like a guaranteed manner, but still being able to have that pot of gold at the end of it so that your family can enjoy, you can enjoy. And when I say at the end of it, right, we're not saying it when you're 70, when you're 80, right? The whole idea is starting right now and putting the effort, right, and dedicating the time and learning properly, right, so that you can actually accelerate the whole process. That is as simple as that. So I think that's what I wanted to share.
Wow. So is it, and do you think is this a skill that we can also, is it transferable? Can we pass it on to our children also?
Well,
Is that something that you're
yeah,
comfortable with?
I would say it's a lifelong skill. It's 100% a lifelong skill. It's not a skill where like you learn and then you cannot hand over. It is very transferable, and you can teach just kids the idea of money, right? And it's something that it's not like you pay and then you join something and you forget about it, right? That actually, if you really put in the effort to learn for the first 1 to 2 years, as short as that, right? And I tell you, you're set for the rest of your life. Your kids are set for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Actually, we have our youngest person who attended one of our classes is 9 years old, and the oldest was 78 years old. So, I mean, learning investing, it doesn't don't limit yourself to age lah. That as long as you have interest, no matter what age you are, or whether you have any background, just like me, I don't have any background. I also learn investing, and it is actually much simpler than it seems lah. Yeah, so you can also teach your friends as well, which I do. I also help my sister as well, help my mom. So definitely you can share whatever is good. You should definitely share with your friends, your family also. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I can see that, it's really meaningful that whatever you not just get yourself rich, but you really help people. I see that this is, there's something also very good that can be passed on also. So so by the way, I think for some of our audience who are curious, right, because you mentioned that you guys will be sharing more at the next level conference. Maybe can you just give us like some teaser, like what can people expect to learn from you at the next level conference?
Actually, for next level conference, I will most likely be sharing a little bit about one of my best strategy and one of the easiest to understand strategy that most of my students are using right now. So for those of you, like Robin, you are interested in investing, and some of our friends here as well, you're interested to get started, do join us at our next level conference. And spend that time with us. When your time, even though is your most valuable asset, right, just spend some time to invest in your own education. Come and learn what is it about, and then also level up yourself lah. For this year, there's only less than 4 months left. Time passed so quickly, right? And if you're not growing your money and time is just passing just like that, right, you are losing out lah. Because most of the people, they are right now investing. Even my intern, she just joined us this week. She told me that her friends are all 21 years old. They are already investing. Okay,
Wow.
so yeah, so you guys should also get started. And if you don't know where to get started, just come here and listen. And we have a lot of very, very good speakers coming up as well. So join us. Donald say, long live long-term investing. 投资万岁万岁.
Okay. And by the way, guys, we also have a Telegram channel for this next level conference. So if you guys want to receive now, it's actually on the top left hand corner of your screen. Okay, so the one to register for the conference to get your tickets, free tickets, is on the right. But to join the community right now, to receive all the updates or when's your next speaker is going to speak, okay, during that day, all the updates will be there. Resources will be sent out there as well. So just scan and join the Next Level Conference Telegram group, and we'll see you there.
Yeah, it's also the last one that is happening, and it's also free, by the way. So guys, do join us. We don't do this conference every single day. So, yep.
Yep. So thank you very much, Rachel, Bjorn. I think it really gives very good insight, on what options is all about, and it's all about maintaining consistency. What I learned from it is to really stick to that framework, that strategy that you have already laid out. And most importantly, is you must take action lah. Okay, be consistent and take action. Right, and it's all about the compounding growth, think long term, right, and not just think about short term, right?
Yep.
So with that, thank you very much, guys, and we'll see everybody at the Next Level Conference. And by the way, okay, just before we go, just to let you guys know that next week on our Next Level Live, we are going to have Iris, who is known as the Stock Sniper, where she teaches how you can actually trade with only 1 hour a day to make daily income. And we also have a special guest, okay, who will actually show you how he just used only one strategy, okay, and he actually makes a lot of money on Forex, to the point that actually institutions are reaching out to him and they are passing him money to trade on their behalf, right? So he's so good to the point that, companies are giving him money to trade on behalf. So imagine when you have that skill as well, you know what, companies might be just throwing money at you to trade on their behalf as well, okay? And that's how you actually earn. So by the way, can we type a CCC in the chat group? So for some of you who are not sure, CCC actually stands for clap, 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 right? If you guys think that Rachel and Bjorn has shared some really interesting insights, just thank them for their time and just type a CCC and give them a round of applause. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.